Welcome back into the King Josiah TV podcast, where the show was created to educate, promote, and influence the kingdom of Jesus Christ in this world. I am your host, Josiah. And before we get started, guys, I need you to do me a huge favor. If you're listening audibly on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I need you to go ahead and smash the follow button right below. As well, if you're listening on YouTube, I need you to do me a favor on there as well. Go ahead and smash the subscribe button. It helps this channel grow and helps it get out to more people that enjoy content like this. All right, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into today's show.
Flexing my God and all of his authority. Practice was preaching purity, priority. Can't conform to it, even if maturity. Choose to go that way, God has been restoring me. They grilling the boy, cause I won't let them George forming me. Try to put me in a box, I got off the ropes, I won't let them corner me. God has been warning me, tell his people ain't no room for lukewarming me. Order me, Lord, it be your will, it never was mine. Like Amazon Prime, his turnaround time around prayer.
Your favorite motivational speaker, Joel Osteen, did an interview with Logan Paul, no other than Logan Paul. And he did an interview talking about salvation and how that pretty much works. And I just thought it was an interesting subject, and an interesting thing that Logan Paul pushed on Joel Osteen, because Joel Osteen, as we all know, he's a prosperity gospel preacher. He tends to dance around the hard subjects. He tends to dance around subjects that talk about God in such a way where God is not just this gummy bear preacher, this gummy bear God. I'm sorry, not preacher, gummy bear God. So let's go ahead and dive into this, guys, and see the question that they pose against him and push Joel Osteen up against the wall, and let's see how he responds. Because this, to me, was so interesting to see.
Neckley on here,
who's
a him and his son Stuart, they're great, very well known,
amazing.
Love those two guys. I listen to Cliff and his son all the time. The college that they go to, very good ministry.
Yeah, and man, he like sat well, not where you're sitting, but in the same seat, respectively to where we were at the time, of course.
Let's pause right here, because this is important. We talk a lot about on this platform about calling, purpose, building for the kingdom. But let's talk about something real this time. If God were to call you home today, would you actually be covered? Or would your family be left with just picking up the pieces? See, stewardship isn't just about being spiritual. It's about being practical. It's about how you lead. It's about how you prepare. It's about how you protect the family that God entrusted you with. Life insurance isn't just about money. This is about legacy. This is about security. This is about your family security, your children being taken care of. Your assignment doesn't just have to die with you. This is real leadership. So if you've been putting this off, or you're not sure where to start, I want to help you with that. Hit the link below and book a call, and let's get you covered the right way. Because let me tell you something, kingdom men and women, we don't just pray, we prepare.
And he kept saying, I'm a dirty, rotten sinner. That's why part of the reason, why I'm a Christian, because I know my God will forgive me, and I ask him for forgiveness. And I kept thinking of those words. And maybe I took them too literally, but he kept saying, like, he is someone who sins.
Yes.
And he prays for forgiveness, and God forgives him. Do you find yourself in a boat where, like maybe you aren't always 100% abiding by the Ten Commandments?
Logan, I do, but I don't dwell on it much. And I don't mean to sound self-righteous or like I'm perfect, because I'm not, but my mind goes into, I get up in the morning and say, try to search my heart. God, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing it for the right reason? Am I doing it for the ego? Or but when I can come back to that place of peace.
And see, this is like my kind of my bone to pick with Joel Osteen is, and I'm gonna let him finish talking, but the way that he describes things, the way he goes into sin, the way he goes into describing yourself. I'm not saying you have to just look at yourself as this horrible person, but if you only look at God again as your best friend, if you only look at God as somebody that is just only loving, that God does not discipline us, that God is not all righteous, that God is not all holy, and it's just not that bad, sin will never be that big of a deal, which then creates more of a problem. Because if you don't see sin as that big of a deal and it's minuscule, you won't be that there won't be nothing pressing on you to deal with that sin nature within you. it won't be that important. It'll be small potatoes.
To say, okay, I believe I'm doing the right thing. Now I make mistakes and you've got your wrong thoughts and all that stuff. But I come back to that place of peace and trust. I don't live from a place of a dirty, rotten sinner. And I love Cliff and they're amazing, but I don't live from that place. I live from a place that he's made me righteous. It wasn't what I did. It's what Jesus did on the cross. And so I just live from a righteous standpoint than the other. And I don't mean that I'm not born into sin and all that as well, but I don't know. I see it a little. I don't think, for me, not talking about any others, I don't think it's helpful to just say, I'm no good, I'm unworthy, don't measure up. Well, none of us did, but when Jesus came, he made us worthy. I've accepted his forgiveness. I still make mistakes and ask for forgiveness, but I live from a God is pleased with me mentality. And I don't mean that arrogant, and I don't mean I'm perfect, but I think that helps.
And guys, I want to actually, just before he finishes, I'm going to bring up a verse from Philippians to talk just further on this. Again, we're going to read from Philippians 2:11 through 13. And I believe this really does describe truly God's heart and how important and how we should really view sin and our sin nature as a real thing and as something that is important and something that is not, we should not just take it lightly. And not that we don't accept Jesus's sacrifice and that we are the righteousness of Christ, but that our sin nature is something that is of importance and something that we should definitely be knowledgeable of, and also be something that we actually work our salvation out through Christ. So what it says here is, in every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Therefore, my friends, just as you have always obeyed, so now, not only in the presence, but even more in my absence, work out your salvation with fear and trembling. For God is a God who is working in both you to will. Let me read that again. For it is God who is working in you both to will and to work according to his good purpose. So again, what God is saying is, work out your salvation with fear and trembling. We have to have reverence enough for God that we realize that our sin nature is a problem. It is not just something that is just small potatoes, like Joel Osteen is kind of describing it, that it's just something, oh, don't really worry about it. It's just, God loves you. You'll get past it. No, this isn't something that we have to work out on a daily basis.
Helps me to know that otherwise, you know what, I don't know, to me, otherwise it just pushes you down and makes you do worse.
It doesn't seem like there's a exact science to how to be the perfect Christian, which is like kind of where it's like a little interesting. And I guess the reason I'm harping on that so much is because I think there's humanity, like a lot of humanity in people admitting that they aren't perfect. In fact, far from it.
Yes.
I think, by the way, that's Cliff's ultimate point. I think this is my opinion. I think he's probably exaggerating a little bit to make people realize it's okay to not be 100%.
100%.
Right.
But he's talking about the severity of our sin, because the severity of our sin and staying in our sin is death, which is complete separation from God, which is not over exaggerating. Cliff is actually being right on point, if you ask me.
All the time.
Yes.
But I think his ability to relay that message is obviously effective in its own way. And yes. I think a lot of people watch him and listen to him and his son and hear the message differently, but ultimately I think the principles are the same, which is something I really like about everything you're saying today. Because even before he asked about God, it's the things you're saying, like the principles make so much sense.
Yeah.
Like even just remove God from the equation for a second, what you're saying is logically makes sense.
Yes. Well, there's different routes for people that need different things, and I watch Cliff on the campuses and stuff, and they're amazing and phenomenal. It's just, this is what I feel like God's given me, but it is a big part of it, Logan, is we're not here because we're perfect. I wouldn't be on this platform or anything. We all, have things we need to improve in. My thing is, am I better this year than I was 5 years ago? Am I growing? Am I forgiving more? Am I less judgmental? Am I better in my relationships? I think that's a big part of it, but not beating myself up just every day saying, you know what, I'm just this lousy sinner and I can't do anything right. I just come from a different point of view.
And guys, whose ever point of view that you decide to take from, I believe you should take closer to Cliff's point of view because it is closer to scripture. And actually, I'm just going to urge you to take that perspective. I'm going to read this last verse to finish it up from Ephesians 2-9. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and that is not from yourselves. It is a gift of God, not by works, guys, so that no man can boast. I'm gonna leave you with that verse there, guys. Give you something to chew on, something to think about. How we should view salvation, how we should view our sin, and how we should view ourselves in our daily walk with God, and how severe sin really is, which ultimately separates us from God. But all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the podcast here today. This is the episode number 47 of the King Josiah TV podcast, guys. If you're listening audibly on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me, or the follow button for me, and the subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. Share this video to someone that likes it, guys. I will be here weekly with these shows. Guys, if you got a comment, if you want to argue with me on something I just talked about, because I know it was deep, it was controversial, it might have ticked you off, I want to hear what you got to say in the comments. I like to talk back to you guys and interact with you. But I think we're going to end the show there. I will see you guys next week for the next podcast.
But my salvation on me like it's a helmet. The way it's to sin is death for send you to hell quick. Wanted to be all about me, God, I was selfish. I was rebellious, but you